Joining us in the studio is Nick Miles. Nick Miles is the director of a company called TheGreenAge, and this is Energy Week, and energy prices, big issue for many, many people. And it appears, Nick, that what we see on television, the sort of homes that we're very, very used to, particularly in the soaps, may not set the best examples. And you've had a sort of virtual look at them, and you've sort of concluded that each could do with certain improvements. So we're going to start, we'll take a visit to Coronation Street. So, is it the street in general, or is it a house in particular?
So, I mean, this is, typical of the sort of houses that we find up and down the country, and it's, going to your point, it's very much a street example. So built at the turn of the last century. When it comes to Victorians, very solid houses, but unfortunately when it comes to energy efficiency, not very good. So leaking energy left, right and centre, people, as a result, spending more money on their energy bills, and something they can ill afford to do in these times.
Okay, and you look at a little house here. I'm not sure who lives in number 1 Coronation Street, but that's it's Tyrone and Fizz who apparently live in that. So what really would they be able to do with a very small house, very compact, therefore actually shouldn't be much of a problem, should it not?
So when it comes to these homes, the way you look at it is quite a simple thing. You look at the thermal envelope of the house. So you look at the walls, the roof and the floors. If those things can be insulated, you can save so much money on your energy bills. Also, like the Victorians, they come with single glazed sash windows and potentially a very archaic heating system. So if you had an overhaul of that stuff, savings there left, right and centre, and Fizz Brown and Tyrone can get more money.
Okay, we head into Yorkshire then, and we look at Emmerdale. And whose house have you chosen here? Very nice, Sharon. You like that one?
I like ones like that, yeah. Country or cottage type place.
The Dingles, again, fantastic property, solid as a rock. But unfortunately the walls are not very good. But also, like many households in the country, it is off gas grid, so it's using a lot more money on its energy bills. And if they could tackle those walls, tackle that roof space, put some more insulation in, they could be a lot better off.
Is the difficulty, though, something like that? I mean, you wouldn't want to spoil it with too much double glazing. Is there only so much that you could do?
There might be some sort of restriction on that.
Yeah, if it's an older property.
Yeah. There is, but there's fantastic new systems that have come out now. So what you can do is you can actually improve from the inside. So if you're looking to replaster the house, you can actually insulate the walls, thicken them from this side, and obviously keep within the character of the house.
Yeah, it is interesting that you're getting a cross-section of homes that people can relate to, and the star of this selection that we've got belongs to the soap opera Hollyoaks, which would be a much more modern home, of course.
So if you remember, sort of the viewers remember back to 2010, this house went through a major renovation work after a fire, and as you can see, it's got all the modern standards of today. So it's got a new heating system, it's fairly modern as well, it's been put up to building regulations, but still, even if you've got a house like that, what I would say is the best thing to do is to get yourself an energy assessment and see where you are related to that, obviously ranking. You can still potentially benefit from things like solar thermal, solar PV, as you've had sort of early on the show, or potentially a new renewable heating system as well.
But the trouble is, how much does all of that cost? Because at a time when people are worried about bills, usually it's sort of a big upfront cost then if you've got to change windows, change heating systems, put in insulation. It's a difficult time for people.
It is a difficult time, but the good news is the government have launched a scheme called the Green Deal. So what it does is if people out there can get themselves an assessment and see what things they can benefit from, by taking a Green Deal out, you can actually have all these improvements put into your property without paying a big sort of upfront cost element. So it becomes very affordable to most of the people in this country.
Very good. If you were to speak to most of the people in the country and you say, look, I understand your energy bills are high, they don't necessarily have to be as high as they are, are there 1 or 2 things you would recommend people to do?
I would say simple things like behaviours. So if you can turn the thermostat down, if you're not using particular rooms, you can turn the little valves.
Is this my wife that you're speaking to directly here? Because
I don't know. Do you argue with her?
Well, I don't need heat. I could live in a house.
You let your house
I don't
fridge
have any.
in an ideal world,
I don't need heat ever on, but unfortunately, my wife needs it on all the time.
I mean, I would say the best thing, because there's big energy saving week this week, get onto the energy saving advice service helpline, give them a ring. see if you can get yourself an assessment. Someone can come in independently, assess your home and see some of the cheap and easy things you can do, because ultimately it's what pays back.
Nick, thank you for that. Nick's the director of a company called TheGreenAge, and he's helping you look at soaps in a different way, and hopefully your energy bills in a different way, and how you insulate your house there.